This is our tour guide for the day.
So I'm Tom Bell. I'm the technical manager for entry doors and wood doors. I've worked with Clopay for a little over 6 years. Spent 5 years as production manager in this plant. So the original building goes across the street, and that's where we were manufacturing garage doors more than 50 years ago.
Wow.
Wood doors.
Wood doors, yeah. So in 2013, we did the last of some consolidation. We actually moved the wood plant from Auburn, Washington, back here to Ohio. So at one point in time, we had manufacturing sites in both locations.
Cool.
Now we're back here centrally to Ohio. We have all manufacturing in Ohio.
And how many square feet are you total here now?
Around 300,000.
300,000.
We have two different other product lines here as well. So think of this manufacturing site as really the specialty division. In Troy, we have a lot of automation. We're making miles of steel doors. Here, we're making products that are customizable and have a lot of craftsmanship built into them. We're not relying upon the machines. We're really relying upon that person to build that quality in there. When I mentioned
So, real quick, 300,000 square feet, you're gonna see that we're walking through. Troy is 1.3 million square feet. So these guys make a few doors a year. Firehouse, we all know, historical property, really stringent historic codes in Jersey City. This door was on my plans when we went to historic. They approved it. So the specialty nature of the facility that we're in is indicative of the quality door and the historic nature of the door that I have to put, that I'm required to put on the firehouse. I know the level of quality that these guys bring to the table, which is why I selected them to be part of the project, but these guys are gonna give you all the good technical data surrounding that. So this is the tour we're going on. We're gonna see my actual door coming off the line. I think it's in paint. It's close to, it's in paint. So we're gonna see the finish on the door, and then all we gotta do is wait for that thing to arrive in New Jersey. So very, very excited about kicking this off. Cool. All right, well, you're the boss, so.
I've mentioned some of the history about across the street in this building here, and these photos really do it as well. This is the first reserve collection door we made a little over 30 years ago, and there's a handful of gentlemen in here who are still employed with Clopay who haven't retired, and they're represented in this photo. So it's really neat to take these guys that have been here 30, 40 years and have them hold the photo of the door that they made and still represented. And when you look at the photo, it's hilarious too, because a lot of them look exactly the same. So you've got Tiger, everyone here has a nickname. The Tiger there in the photo, and Tiger there in present day. So a lot of young to old, but
oh man, that is just awesome.
So in this same plant, we make entry doors. Okay. And we make full vision aluminum garage doors. So it'd be like the old, mechanics car door.
Yep.
Now, or the car wash door. Now it's very much the high-end pool room or
sure.
Patios.
We actually, my cousin and I spec'd aluminum door with the glass inserts for Chris Williams home in LA.
Okay, yeah.
We put one of your doors in his kitchen.
Perfect.
That opens up to the kitchen ceiling and goes out to a center courtyard.
And that's what's changed so much over the years. It's not a utilitarian thing anymore. It's about a statement. It's
about, absolutely.
Design. So we are actually launching a new aluminum door this year. And it has a much more modern, sleek look to it, something that hasn't been revised over the years. So it's good for you because you get good, clean lines, but it also has a lot of benefits for us here in the factory because we cut down on glass sizes that we need to stock, things like that.
Sure.
So less lead time, better for you to the end customer.
Nice. Awesome.
So
wow. The first thing I noticed is this place is spotless.
Thank you. We worked really hard. Obviously, we produce a ton of dust. If you just plants right up there,
sure,
that's the dust collector, over 3 foot in diameter.
Wow.
So this gives you an idea how much dust we're pulling through here.
Hi.
So, 2 doors we just snatched out in process to give you an idea of what we build. On the right is very much our bread and butter, a classic traditional carriage house style door. We want it to look like that barn door that swings open. We don't want it to look like a sectional door.
Like one of the big things that I wanted when I selected the door for the firehouse was, the firehouse that I'm in is built 1896.
Okay.
It originally housed horses for the horse-drawn fire carriages.
Okay.
So that door did open left to right. So to have
this is reality.
I can't even hear myself talk.
Yeah.
So to be able to replicate that look, but then get all the function and benefits of the new technology, the R values,
Sure.
and the like.
Just having the convenience of a roll-up door that looks like a swing out door.
And I'm really keen. I mean, I know we'll get into it, but I'm really keen to like get all the technical data around the exterior product because I know it's a wood composite, and when you're talking about a historic building, it's important that you're period correct and you respect the historic nature of the building.
Yes.
But then to get all the maintenance benefits of the exterior,
Absolutely.
so that combination of technology and respecting history, I think is like
you get the best of both worlds.
Exactly. I feel like I'm cheating basically.
Sure. And we are traditional in a lot of senses, but we have to take advantage of the new technology out there and what benefits those bring to make it easier to maintain.
Sure.
So, 1 second.
Yeah.
Hey, Krista.
Yeah, super cool. And I actually went with 2 rows of windows.
Yeah.
Actually, that exact pattern.
Yes.
I just had the seated glass, so I'm very excited.
Well, I think that's when I just asked you to grab the clipboard. I'm gonna look. We got your original concept drawings.
Yes.
We went through that. I kind of want to go through that with you. But that's where you get the benefit of wood and the flexibility of it, right? If you want multiple rows of glass, you want different glass configurations, we can do all of that because we're not bound by any mold or anything.
Well, and I'll give you the perfect example because it was a real site condition. So I'm putting a fire pole back into the firehouse.
I watched your blog.
You did?
Last week.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, it was the one where you undid the framing or undid the floor and you're like, the framing's still here.
Yeah. So I had a real concern that the fire door closures that are going to be underneath that fire pole were not going to work with the track.
Okay.
So I had Julie from Aquarius Door, who's your local installer out by me, come and take a look, and we decided to adjust the door in 1 inch on each side.
Perfect.
I hadn't signed the order yet,
so
we just did that. She said, look, these are completely custom, so you could literally, to the 1/8 of an inch, change the width of your doors, which,
and the process that you went through, both from checking out the site conditions, making some concept drawings and going through that is what we do with a lot of our customers.
Yeah.
They aren't always working with an architect or have a defined design down.
Sure.
We can assist them through that.
Which is great because, it's one thing like if you're doing what I'm doing with like a full renovation, you have an architect, I'm the designer, you can get you have all those design documents and they're doing that. But if you just say, hey, I want to replace my garage door, these guys can take you through the design process. These guys can help you figure out what works with your existing house.
And we have dedicated customer service as well as design team only for wood.
Yeah.
They know wood, they know our capabilities, and we go by the motto, you dream it, we'll build it. So we want to get into those funky projects.
Right,
and really
it's fun. Problem solving is what makes guys like us tick.
And
so
it keeps us on our toes as well, right?
Sure.
We don't get complacent. We're doing something new every day, so it is exciting. And
it's fantastic.
This is the original, concept that we got from you guys. Obviously, we were looking for some crossbucks, looking for a nice, big row of glass. Site conditions, you guys are looking at what kind of track.
Right.
I imagine
existing measures. Yep.
Which is really neat. I love the.
That's all in terracotta.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Very cool. So then we actually got to the true size of it. And then we basically hit you with a couple options. We knew that you wanted the crossbucks. We knew that you wanted a row of glass, but we made this one going, we know that we want that window to be larger. We wanted to make more of a statement out within there. So through a couple renditions, we say, hey, let's make that glass very large, put a whole nother row in there. Then again, another neat thing that you could do with wood doors is you have really tall sections, right?
Right.
You're only bound by the radius within your track there. So we're able to do large, 28-inch plus sections. So now we have these large windows going across the top, same design, but now it's just much more fluid, and the scale is much more appropriate. So now we have a concept. Now we get into the nitty gritty though, right? That's when you're out there with Julie, you're measuring and making sure all of the sizes and whatnot are gonna work. So at this point, we're on a 4th revision. That's because we revised the size, we got all your paint selections down.
Well, that was another thing I didn't realize you could go two-tone with the stuff, because it's all custom. So, the dark and the light gray is just...
And we have a custom paint program that we do for wood doors that allows you to paint it any color that you want. You mentioned the two-tone. All you need to do is give us a sample to color match that, and then we'll turn it into paint here for the factory.
So fantastic.
But we love two-tone. Gives you a really neat look because it just makes those crossbucks pop right off.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're gonna put in a design aesthetic or a feature, like, you may as well accent it.
Absolutely.
And I feel like, you know, it really speaks to the age of the building as well, just that kind of old school.
I'm really excited to see what it looks like finished.
You haven't seen it yet either?
Well, I mean, I've seen it all the way through the process. I want to see it on your firehouse.
Yeah. Oh, come on out, man.
So then, just to give you an idea,
sure.
You know, everything that we're building in here is built to order. Nothing stock. So we're taking the same drawings that you guys approved off of. The builders are working from those drawings. Our designers work here in the plant and support the builders.
So this isn't an automated line so much as it is a massive workshop.
You mentioned Troy being 1,003,000 square foot. That's the automated. That's the production-driven area. This is really the craftsman and skill set that we have to develop, and we have to instill that quality-minded in them through the whole way. But here's the thing. How easy is it to take pride in what you do when you're making your own door all the way through? So we have each craftsman build these doors from start to finish so that they take ownership of it. They know every detail of that door.
Oh, that's really interesting. So they don't like somebody doesn't do the glass and then pass the door on.
Exactly.
They own that door until it comes out of the warehouse.
Absolutely. And the first thing that we start with is we're trying to select that material for color and grain composition because we want it to look even and pleasing throughout that whole thing. So visual appeal is a huge
they
thing.
actually select the wood that's going in.
And you'll see some of it kitted up as we go through. We're good. So, you know, we're here at the start of the process, and what we talked about was polling material, grain, color competition from the get-go, because we don't want to be planning for that after the door's assembled.
Right. We
factory finish a lot of our doors, and what we presented as is furniture-grade quality. So we want it to be even. We don't want to hide the natural beauty of the wood. We want it to look even and pleasing throughout. So it's so important that we start right here. One of the highest running species that we use is Western red cedar. It's a wood that grows in the Pacific Northwest, but it's perfect because it's got rot resistance, has insect resistance, decay resistance. It's also just a really stable, beautiful wood.
Okay, great. So these guys physically hand select the material for their door.
Absolutely.
To make sure it's got evenness of grain, to make sure grain matches between panels.
That's awesome. Same thing. It doesn't matter if it's a 1-door order or a 4-door order. We're going to treat them the same because we have to gather everything up together.
You're only as good as your last door, right?
Exactly. So that's what we're standing in front of is Western red cedar.
Okay.
We use a clear designation, so that just means it has absolutely no knots. So you're not going to find this lumber at the lumber yard, at the box store, nowhere. We have a relationship with our supplier that's more than 40 years old, who works directly with the mill.
Wow.
We're talking about old
you guys
growth.
got specialty first dibs.
Exactly. You're talking old growth trees. So what you see, everyone notices the smell right away. Yeah. But look at the growth rings and how tight that is.
Yeah.
Generally, I compare it to like a oak, right? Everyone knows domestic oak, but you see these cathedrals, and you see that. That's because it's flat sawn. So imagine taking that log, just throwing it up on a sawmill and slabbing it out. Straight cut all the way through. This is what we call vertical cut. So vertical cut only really exists in softwood, but it's the same thing as quarter saw in hardwood. So it's more labor intensive, it's less yield out of the log because of the way that you have to rotate and cut that
But you get
log.
more consistency out of it.
You get this straight grain, and you get increased strength and stability.
Interesting.
So wood really expands.
So it's like an end grain cutting board as opposed to...
That's kind of what it is. Yeah, you're rotating those 90 degrees. Now you have the growth rings coming straight up and down. And that's why it looks so much more even than something like this does. So we take it as far as...
end edge.
So we take it as far as, specifying and monitoring how many growth rings per inch that we get. Because that's how we know that our product is going to act consistently throughout. We have a lot of small features built into the door that the layman won't notice, right? But if we start with the best material, we put these little fine-tuned points in there, that's why our door stands above the rest. Because we're going an extra mile. It costs more. The yield that you get from the material, the labor that you put into it, but it's worth it because you're going to have a door that lasts
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and when the finished product looks that good, you know, and they're saying, well, why does it look so much better?
Sure.
You may not know everything we do, but we're doing it, and that's why you go, wow, when you see that door on the home.
So if you live in, you know, a humid or a rainy environment,
Sure.
cedar's really good for that.
Yep.
It stays stable and has good moisture resistance. But stability and moisture resistance, you know, in a paint grade product, sometimes exterior can be a good option.
Right.
And that's really where you guys have gone with on this door.
Yep,
So
exactly.
Exterior, along the same lines, but a couple of main differences. So obviously there's wood fiber in here, right?
Yep.
When they produce it, it's chips of wood. It really has no commercial value. So they're using scrap wood from other operations, taking it downstream and saying, we can make this a value-added
Yep.
product, but otherwise it would be
waste.
trash.
Yeah.
So they take wood fiber, they mix it with phenolic resins, basically make this large mat. You know, all of that absorbs the liquid in there.
And the resin does what? Is that the binding agent?
It's binding, but it also provides a lot of moisture resistance.
Okay.
Because resins aren't
Non-porous.
porous, they're not going to soak up moisture.
Got it.
Exactly. But that is also what holds everything
Okay.
together. So unlike MDF, when they got this large mat and they're pressing it down into the sheets that you and I know of,
Yep.
MDF is just a heated platinum. So they're using pressure to push all of that through. But what you'll notice is that on the outside of the boards, you have a different density than in the middle. So when you slice through that, you're going to see a top layer.
It gets a little flakier in the middle.
Because it's just compressed from the outside and only compressed those areas. So
Yeah.
you have a different density in the middle, and not only does that hurt workability, but it hurts moisture as that sucks up within there. So the neat thing about when exterior is produced is that as it's pressed, they're forcing steam throughout this entire mat. And that's what cures everything the same and makes it the same density all the way through there.
Interesting.
So now-
wow, that's a heavy, I mean, for a
Absolutely.
small piece.
Yep, a lot of resins in there. So now that we have the same density, that's what makes it machine easier.
That's the density. Wow. Super cool.
So there's one other neat thing built into exterior that woods or normal MDFs don't have the benefit of, and that's zinc borate. So zinc borate's a biocide. So when you put that in this material, it's not going to allow fungus to grow. The benefit of that is that this will absolutely decay rock. If you don't allow fungus to grow on it because of the borate that you have in here, no rotting will take place.
That's incredible.
So it's built into there. It takes off some of the natural properties, you know, that real woods
Sure.
have by using the zinc borate within there.
Well, you know, and I think before I mentioned, you know, my door faces due west, and you know, there are instances maybe where you'd want to spec a natural wood, but you know you're setting yourself up for failure because the level of maintenance, no matter how high a quality it comes out of here, the sun is the sun is the sun. That's going to beat on that thing 8-12 hours a day, freeze-thaw cycles. So to know that I have something that's virtually maintenance-free, but is still respecting the age of the building, that's where I feel like I'm cheating because I got the best of both worlds.
Exactly.
You know,
It's a good way to cheat.
it's really fantastic. And that's a great data point to know in terms of like the way you guys make your MDF. I mean, almost wouldn't call it MDF because of how much extra.
That's why I don't like to use the 3 letters, is because when you say MDF, it turns people off. So think of it like an MDF,
it's
but it's
extra.
not MDF.
Is what it is.
Absolutely.
Because it's your proprietary process that's making it strong as it is.
Yeah, so this is that's obviously a good, if you know you want paint grade for sure,
Cool.
a great product.
All right, where are we off to next?
We're going to go to the build tables and see some assembly. Nolly's our builder, taking care of these, and kind of got them in separate stages here. This one's totally done. This one he's going to be adding some overlay to, finishing up the windows, and that one he's going to be putting the TNG in, just to kind of see all the aspects of the doors. These are Moranti, so it's a Philippine mahogany. It's a really good priced alternative to like a genuine mahogany or an African mahogany. It has a lot of the same benefits and grain texture, but it comes at a lower price point.
They're gorgeous.
So that's our standard mahogany that we use. What you're seeing here, though, are paint grade doors. So that's why you see the variation in color that you do.
Sure.
Because it doesn't matter and it's going into paint.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's not a stain.
A lot of times we get questions of, why would you ever paint that mahogany? and we're all wood people, we all kind of follow that.
Sure.
Do we think it's a sin to paint wood? A little bit. But it really makes sense and it's beneficial for the life of the door as well.
Sure.
There's nothing wrong with painting a mahogany.
No,
Great
and
substrate
listen,
to it.
you know, it's
personal preference, right?
Exactly.
It's
So
whatever
we don't-
works with the home. It's whatever the homeowner ultimate goal is.
Some of these builders get bummed out though when they're making the genuine mahogany door and it's going over to paint stain. Hey, look,
Listen,
it's gonna live a long life. It's still gonna be good.
I can certainly appreciate that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Serious amount of work goes into these doors. Woo-wee. Each and every step is done by hand. These guys do not mess around. I was excited about this door. Now I'm super excited about this door. And I am completely out of focus. Sorry.
So these are your doors right
This
here.
is my door.
Absolutely. What they're doing is they're scuffing the primer off of there.
Okay.
So they're gonna scuff that up, fill all the nail holes, fill any seams, and then they're gonna caulk the door. It's really important that we do waterproof the internals of it. They're gonna caulk the door.
Yeah, this is the Northeast. It's super important.
Exactly. So you know all too well.
Oh yeah. Well, I have harsh freeze thaw, but then I also, from basically 2 p.m. on every day, I'm due west.
Okay.
So this thing's
Got a lot
gonna
of
bake
sun.
from 2 p.m. until whenever the sun goes
Sure.
down. Speaking of which, what is the R value of this door?
You're around 6. It's
An
like
R6.
5.9.
Okay. Now, is that considered high for a garage door, average for a garage door?
Absolutely high for a wooden garage door.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
a steel door has much more capability for
Because it's all packed
foam.
with, right.
Exactly. So we've got foam in all the internals of these doors here.
Sure.
And then, roughly an inch of wood only gives you about 1 R value.
Gotcha. So one thing I didn't ask you, from the time the order gets signed and like I say 100% approved, how long does it take to come into and out of this facility?
So when you approve it, it'll come into the facility within just a couple of days. From when it downloads to the shop floor.
Right, when it
could be-
starts the actual physical process of
Yep.
making the door.
So it could be a week to 4 weeks depending on the model. 4 weeks being the highest end, most customized door.
Got
They
it.
have special materials, so on and so on.
But generally the size doesn't
No.
make the lead time longer or shorter. It's the materials you select and how
Right.
many overlays and different components you have to the door.
And even glass is generally not something that extends the lead time any farther than that because we have glass that we stock here.
Interesting. Yeah, I think,
Factory finishing adds a week to that. We're gonna take a left right here.
Cool.
Factory finishing adds a week to that lead time. It simply takes us a week to process it.
got it. And then it goes on a truck and heads out.
Yes.
Sweet.